morning, friends. I am a couple of minutes late. I apologize for that. Technical difficulties in the internet arena today, which is not good because we rely on the internet to do our work, don't we? But anyway, happy Friday. It's Laura here. I wanted to drop in and just have a brief chat with you about something that's on my mind at the moment. But first off, how's your week been? How's your week been? I do not like using the word busy because I feel like it makes you feel stressed. But that's how I feel like my week's been. Not stressful, but just busy, like full. It's really exciting. I've got 3 coaching calls today, lots on, lots happening, and I'm feeling really excited with the energy. I feel like the energy of 2020 is already starting to pull through into this year. Before I dive into it today, well, if you are on the replay, say hi, let me know you're watching. If you jump on live, say hi. I'll say hi when you hop on. I've just sent an email out to my email list. If you guys are on that, you would have received that. And I put a post in here yesterday about the brand new offer that I've revamped. It's a free offer for you guys to really take up all around. I've called it narrowing your niche. It's around like nailing your niche once and for all. Obviously, it's still open to refining as you grow your business, but pick your niche now and get to work on it. So we'd spend 30 minutes together in a call just like this using Zoom. We'll chat all about your niche. We'll look at what's working, what's not working, how to tweak it, and craft a really punchy bio, speaking directly to your ideal clients. You can get out there and start doing the work that relates to signing clients and getting yourself out there. So I shared it in the group yesterday, but I've just realized this morning there was a bug with the link. It wasn't fully activated yet. So I'm going to share it here. So you can book that in. We'll spend 30 minutes together chatting about you and the niche in your business. Hey, Bianca. So I'm really excited about that. I had a free offer a while ago and I really want to revamp it to something that I knew was really on the minds of a lot of you. And I've had so many conversations with you guys about niches and the difficulty that it brings up, and it can keep you quite stuck from going forward and doing the things you really need to do. And in the email I wrote today, I shared about how powerful, picking my niche once and for all was for me and moving forward from that. And I can share that post in here again another day. So all you need to do to book that in is free, absolutely free. Click the link, you get the chance to go through, pick a time in my calendar, and then just enter your details and book it in, and then we'll hook up on that time. So I'm super pumped about that. Any questions, you can drop me an email or send me a DM. But what I wanted to chat about today, really briefly, was, so I hosted an event. I co-hosted with a great dear friend of mine, our first event here on the Gold Coast on the weekend. And I was having this conversation with a lot of the women that were there. And then funnily enough, my coach called me out on something around this topic earlier in the week. And it's been a theme I've seen with my clients across the week. And that is focusing on the work that really matters to getting the results you want in your business. I think it's easy for us to get distracted and have that sense of like there's all these things to do. But what I was chatting to the women about at the event on Sunday was picking the one goal that you really want to achieve and going hard at that for 90 days and not worrying about everything else. So everything can be run through the lens. So like, is this helping me to get, achieve the goal I want? I think for so many people in this group and, so many people that are coaches, the biggest goal is to sign clients, right? That is our business, and that is what leads us to having a business, feeling like we're making the impact we want to, helping people, and also creating an income to quit your job, support your family, all the things you want to do with an income being rewarded for the work that you do. And yet, often I see people saying that's the biggest priority, but they're getting distracted with work that doesn't directly lead to that. I think there's a lot of work that we can do in our business that feels like it has some link to signing clients, but often it's not direct. So for example, working on branding, logos, even websites, tweaking websites, no one's going to go to your website if you're not on social media connecting with them. The biggest and best way to be signing clients is to be sparking conversations, having conversations with your ideal clients, providing value to them. Website isn't actually the first place to do that. So the thing is what I really want you to do is think to yourself, what's the actual one thing I want to achieve in my business right now? Is it signing clients, getting booked out? Maybe you are booked out and the goal is going to be different, but I'm just going to talk to getting booked out or booking clients at the moment, because I think that's the biggest theme that's coming through from all the conversations I have with you guys and the feedback that comes through with the questions that you answer when you join the group. It's signing clients, attracting clients, okay? The best way to be doing that is having conversations with people, being in front of them, providing value, demonstrating your expertise. People are going to want to work with you when they see and feel that, not because your logo is perfect, not because your website has like the best copy on there, because do you know what? I signed clients before I had a website, okay? And in the past, when I had a different iteration of my coaching business, when I very first started out, I spent months working on my website behind the scenes to kind of launch my business. And the thing is, then you spent months doing that and not doing any other work. And here's the thing, when you launch your website, it doesn't get a lot of traffic, okay? If you haven't built up an audience of people that are waiting for what waiting for what you're offering and wanting to go there, the website doesn't get much traffic. It's, there's this kind of conception that like, oh, people will just Google it, they'll find it, I'll have all these, random people wanting to work with me. And that's just not how it works. So what I want you to do is think about what really matters in my business right now. What's the one thing I really want to achieve, right? Once you're clear on that, I think for most people, it's going to be signing your next client, signing so many clients, signing a client, right? Knowing that, the question is the work that I'm doing day to day directly linked to that, right? Directly linked. Like, can I say this activity reaches, is connected to booking clients, directly? That's the next step. That's going to be things like sharing posts on social media that speak direct to your ideal client. It's going to be things like offering, some free sessions. It's going to be things like sending people DMs, engaging in conversations. It's going to be things like telling the people that you know in your life that you're open for business, you're ready to work with clients, and you want to start having people refer them to you. They're the things that feel uncomfortable, but they're directly linked to growing your business, the goal that you want to achieve. Working behind the scenes on your website, and meaning that you're not doing any front end. It's like, I actually think of things like front end, or like the front of house, and kind of the back of house. So the back of house is things like things that are important to do in a business. And I'm not saying they're not important, but they don't always directly link or to signing your next client, or they're not directly getting you in front of people. So it's things like, for me, I just spent an hour this morning setting up Xero, so that's like back of house. Back of house is me working with my coach. Back of house is me, writing content and not actually sharing it. Back of house is creating courses. Back of house is working on your branding. Back of house is doing all those things that you do behind the scenes. Then front of house is being on social media and sharing your content, being on social media and commenting and providing value on other people's questions. Front of house is sending out an email to your email list that actually, invites them onto an offer. Being front of house is putting call out to work with a pro bono client, or ask people to refer you, or all those things where you are in front of people. And the next step for them would be to inquire more about your work. So it's really making offers, showing up on social media, doing live streams, doing live trainings, being on Instagram stories, inviting people onto coffee chats and, talking about referring people, talking to people about what you do, they're all front of house, right? Because the more you talk with people about the work that you do and how you help people, the more you are going to generate leads and inquiries. It's that simple. The best way to go out and sign clients is go and have conversations with people about the work that you do and showcase your expertise and your value, right? So it's really easy to get distracted by things that seem important or that we're told are important for a business. Like, we're all told that having a website is important for a business. And I'm not saying it's not. Like, it is important, but it's not the most important thing to start out with on day one. The most important thing on day one is having a community that know what you do and that you offer value to, and they understand the work that you do and they're really wanting to hear more from you. That doesn't come from a website, okay? That comes from meeting people in person, maybe running some small events, all those sorts of things. You guys know what I'm talking about. So the question is, once you know what your goal is that you really want to achieve in your business right now, the question is to really run everything that you're doing through that filter. Is this directly and front of house relating to me achieving this goal? Okay. If it's not, then the question is, like, is this really important for me to be doing right now? So here's a path that I've been down in the past, quite some time ago. I was doing all the front of house stuff, and I was getting a lot of people saying that they couldn't afford me, they weren't sure, all those kinds of objections that we get in our business, right? And so then, instead of like trying to resolve the objection or, understand more, I started going behind the scenes and like creating like the foundation of like an online course. But then the more I was doing that, the more time and energy it was taking up behind the scenes, and I wasn't showing up in front of people. I wasn't actually resolving the right problem, which was a value question, not a question of like how to make this cheaper. And I spent a couple of weeks, and I was like, I've spent a couple of weeks behind the scenes creating and not actually out there in front of people. And I'm actually no further forward with my business, right? Some of you are going to resonate with that and really go like, yes, I've been there. So this is where, you have to be really, it is really hard to continuously pull yourself out on it, because I hadn't even noticed that I was doing it. And on Tuesday, my coach was like, no, but like, just do this first, then we can make those changes. They're so much easier to make when this is all taken care of first. Like, that's your priority. And I was like, oh yeah, if I'd actually do this thing first and have that fully resolved, then doing these other things will be so much easier, because I'm not, caught up in, like doing these things that aren't linked directly to the goal that I'm wanting to achieve. So I hope this is making sense, because it's just a real pattern that I'm seeing. And it's a mindset thing, 100% it's a mindset thing, because we've got the fear of getting out there, fear of being visible, fear of being seen. That's why it came up in the workshop I had on the weekend. It was a visibility workshop. It's so much easier to work behind the scenes. It's a theme with a lot of my clients. So much easier to work behind the scenes and not actually put yourself out there, because you're not going to get rejected. If you have the fear of success, you're not going to skyrocket your success. Like, you're kind of self-sabotaging yourself. So kind of just wanted to open up that as a discussion point today and think, like, if you run everything through that lens, is this, front of house, generating sales, generating inquiries, generating leads, right? That's the question to ask yourself. Branding isn't doing that. Logos aren't doing that. Colors aren't doing that. Fonts aren't doing that. A website, I hate to break it to you, that's not doing that either. Creating courses behind the scenes, if you haven't had one-on-one clients and a consistent roster of one-on-one clients. I had a discussion with a learning, I've forgotten her title, someone who helps you basically turn your coaching program into an online course. And she said, if people come to her that haven't had a solid booked out roster of one-on-one clients yet, she says, you're not ready to create a course because you don't understand enough how you work with your clients. So then how are you going to translate that into a one-on-one course? So even in the early stages of your business, unless your business is all about courses and you don't plan to work with people one-on-one, creating a course isn't actually doing that. Creating opt-ins that you never share isn't actually doing that, right? So just think about that. Am I getting in front of people today? How am I prioritizing getting in front of people every day to work towards the goal that I want? You know, give yourself, this is what my practice is 90 days. You know, set your commitment. It might be every day or every second day, but I think it should be a lot, not kind of twice a week. Go at it. So every day for 90 days, I'm just going to show up online, deliver value, get in front of my people, have conversations, make offers, and see what happens from there. I will assess that at the end of the 90 days when I've given that real time to build momentum and to test really if it's working. You cannot test if something's working if you've showed up maybe 2 times a week for a month, right? Because 2 times a week for a month means you've showed up 8 times. People now need to see you between 17 to 22 times before they'll take action. That's kind of the average. Some people will be faster, some people will be slower, but we used to say it was 7 to 12. It's always going up. In the social media world where there's so much happening, it's so fast paced, there's a lot of people talking about things like to nurture a relationship with you 17 to 22 times, right? So if you're showing up twice a week for a month, you've only hit people 8 times. It's going to take a while to get to 17 or 20, you know, let's say 20, right? But if you show up every day for a month, you've showed up 30 times. And the funny thing is, like, that's assuming that everyone sees it. You know, a huge percentage of people aren't going to see every single thing, right? So that's why, like, if you went out for 90 days and you showed up consistently, you know, for 90 days, let's say, you know, you showed up every second day for 90 days, that's 45 times. Let's say that someone sees 20% of what I've picked a hard number, but let's say, you know, on average, the reach is like 1 in 4 people or 1 in 5 people will see your content, about 20%. So just say you showed up 45 times, 20% of people saw that, you know, like everyone saw 20% of your content. That means they saw it 9 times because 45, 10% is 4.5, 20% is 9. So they've still only seen you 9 times and they need to see you 17 to 22 times. Do you see why this consistency is so important? And that's why I often see the action you're taking now is actually what's going to generate the results for you 3 months from now. So the results you're seeing now are a result of what you were doing 3 months ago, because people need that many touch points with you. So I really hope that makes sense. I should write up a post summarizing that, actually, my accounting brain and the stats and the numbers, because that's really important to think. So just say you showed up every day for 90 days on your goal of signing clients, okay? That means you've showed up 90 times, assuming every individual sees about 20% of your posts, that's 9, 18. 18 times they've seen you in 90 days, enough for them to say, yes, I'm going to take you up on your offer now. Do you see how that works? Do you see how it's so much more than what you think it is, right? It's interesting. Like, we think, oh, if I show up a couple of times a week for a few weeks, like, I should sign some clients. Like, you can. I'm not saying you can't. Like, I've seen people who do, but we wonder why it's not working. And it's not because your strategy is not working. It's just that people have not seen you enough yet. So I really hope that lands with you. 90 days, people seeing 20% of your posts, because that's just the way it works. People are busy doing things, like, especially if you are targeting people that aren't online all day. So for example, people that work full time, people that are mums, like people that are busy professionals, all those kinds of things. Like, they're not sitting on Facebook all day, every day. I mean, even I work online and I'm not either. I spend a huge chunk of my time working with clients, working behind the scenes, doing other stuff, right? So I'm not going to see every single post that anyone that I follow shares, okay? But so assuming that someone sees 20% of your posts, you need to show up every day for 90 days for them to see you 18 times, okay? That's really important to think about, because so often we go, oh, I went at it, you know, for a couple of weeks and I didn't sign any clients, so, you know, my strategy mustn't be working. And that's just not the case. It's just that you haven't given it enough time and you haven't showed up fully for it. So I hope that helps. I think I'm just going to love you and leave you there, because I think that last little bit there around the actual practicals of people seeing you, that's why visibility is so important. You need a mindset that allows you to show up every single day, or, you know, every second day, depending on what your life and your kind of work allows you to. But showing up once or twice a week in a busy, fast-paced world is not, it will result in clients, but it just may be a lot longer than you think. Like, we're all about speeding up the process, bringing that in, bring things forward wherever you can. And you can do that by being more active, being more consistent, being, you know, upping your visibility. And in my experience, that comes a lot down to mindset, because you've got to have a rock solid mindset that is allowing you to show up even before the results come through. So I hope that helps, my loves. I'm just going to love you and leave you there. Happy Friday. Hope you have a great day. Don't forget that Narrow Your Niche offer is there, so feel free to sign up there. I'm going away next Friday. Going on a yoga retreat for a weekend. It's awesome. So there won't be a live next Friday. I'll see if I can do it another day, but I'll just share that in the group. I'll be away on Friday. So I might not catch you for a couple of weeks live, but of course I'm always in the group answering questions, loving you sharing your posts, remembering that this is a space for you as much as it is for me, because I know when, you know, we all rise, I want to have women who can come and I want to cheer you on, have, you know, see you winning in your business. I just think of, like, you know, imagine going out to lunch with a whole tribe of coaches who are creating uber successful businesses. And that comes from having spaces where we can share and promote and, you know, really not only learn how to grow our business, but we can use the space to grow our business. So I can't wait for you to be sharing more in here. Share your inspiring posts, you know, blend those in, educate people, provide value, spark conversations, conversations, everything that I've just chatted about here, you can do in this group. Educating people about what you do and how you help them, all of that stuff. Anyway, I'm rambling now. I will love you and leave you. Happy Friday. There's a few of you I'm catching up with in the next few hours with coaching calls, and I hope you all have a fab weekend. Bye.